today, with Chase Utley returning to the lineup at second base, batting third. The cleanup man is Ryan Howard, the first sacker. Raul Ibanez is in left field, with Ben Francisco playing right. Pedro Feliz plays third base, batting seventh. It's Carlos Ruiz, the catcher. Cole Hamels is the pitcher.
Bud Norris was the Pacific Coast League pitcher of the year, regarded as the top prospect for the Astros. Got off to a very good start through his first 3 outings, but his last 3 starts pretty shaky for Bud. All losses, 1 to Florida, then 2 to Arizona. So a couple extra days off. Looking to get things back together here today against the Philadelphia Phillies. Defensively, the Astros this afternoon look an awful lot like last night. The outfield remains the same. Lee, Bourne, Pence. Same to be said for the infield. Blum, Tejada, Matsui, and Berkman. The one change behind the plate where J.R. Tolles, fresh up from Round Rock, does the catching for Bud Norris, a guy who's handled down there quite often.
September baseball. Cecil Cooper was being quizzed about more September call-ups before the game today. He said we'll announce those tomorrow, either before or after the game tomorrow. And tomorrow will be the final game for Round Rock. Cecil with a 166-161 record as skipper of the Astros. Of course, very happy with the elation the Astros felt last night with their 5-4 come from behind win. And Charlie Manuel, on the other hand, has a club which is coasting with a 6.5 game lead, but not wanting to just play out the string in his 5th year as Phillies manager. 431 and 350. His club has scored 16 runs in the last 9 games, and Charlie wants to get his offense revved up.
Yeah, it's very difficult to know what Bud Norris is up against here this afternoon, because obviously the Phillies have a very good hitting club, but lately they haven't been swinging it very well at all. So, you know, sooner or later they're going to break out. You just hope today isn't today. Changeup could be a very important pitch for Bud this afternoon. A lot of left-handed firepower in this Philly lineup.
Jimmy Rollins starts the day at 244. He has 17 long balls. He's driven in 60. A couple of hits in this series, and the first pitch gets away. There's ball 1. In Bud's last start at Arizona, he lost 9-0, giving up 6 runs in 5 innings. He walked 4 in that one. Pumps the fastball in, and Rollins looks at a strike for a 1-1 count.
And needless to say, fastball command a critical issue for any pitcher, but certainly for a young guy like Norris. Can't afford to be working from behind in the count.
Rollins, since he came out of an 0 for 28 slump, has hit .293 for the last 246 at bats. Smacks this one to right field. Hunter Pence scrambling back near the wall. Jimmy Rollins has hit one into the Astros bullpen, and then it bounces up into the seats for a quick 1-0 Philadelphia lead. And the Phillies do get their first home run of the series. It's Rollins' 18th of the year, number 187 for Philadelphia.
Now, we talked about fastball command, and this is a fastball they're trying to go in, and he leaves it out over the plate and up a little bit. Just a great swing of the bat by Jimmy Rollins.
Now Jason Worth takes ball 1. Worth had 268. He has 30 homers and 80 runs batted in. Norris moves the fastball in. Wally Bell hits the right hand, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Worth takes that one, and it's 1-2 for Jason. Raul Ibanez there alongside Jimmy Rollins on the Phillies bench. Norris has surrendered 7 long balls in 33 innings this year. And Worth is a strikeout victim.
He's been striking out a lot in this series. Jason Worth just blown away there by Bud Norris. 3 consecutive fastballs. First 295. That one goes up at 97 miles an hour. 9-1-1 hack. A little bit late to the party there, Jason Worth.
Chase Utley had a hit, and he was hit by a pitch Friday night. He rested last night. He had fouled the ball off his foot in the game Friday night. 298 for Utley, 29 homers, 84 driven in. And there's strike 1 for Norris. Astros are 3-3, and Bud Norris's 6 starts. He is 3-3 with a 6.61 ERA. Dudley takes, and it's 1-1 to a man who has scored 95 runs this year. That's tied for 3rd in the National League. He is quite a package of power, high batting average. He walks a lot. Lines to Cook. 2 outs.
Dropped the head on a low inside fastball there. Hit the ball hard, but on Lance. One of those guys, year in and year out, you put up at the top of the list of potential MVP candidates at the start of the season. Solid all-around player.
6 first-inning runs allowed by Norris. It's Ryan Howard batting now. Howard at 273 with 37 homers has driven in 114. He had an RBI triple in the 8th inning last night when the Phillies took a 4-3 lead. He's lost about 20 pounds since last year. Really showed that the way he ran the bases last night. 1 for 7 in this series. Howard, 29 years old, 2nd in the MVP voting last year. It's a ball 2. Howard had a new off-season workout program to lose the weight. As he reported to spring training, he said he felt very strong. He has really continued his excellent hitting throughout the season. Now it's 3-0 to Howard.
And he was the player of the month in the National League in August. And you see him 3rd in the league at home runs now, behind Pujols and Reynolds. Matt Elber's gotten hot again.
A pinch homer to win the game last night in the 10th. There's Matsui in right. And Howard drills it past him, even though he was playing very deep. Howard still hit it hard enough and in the right spot to get onto the 2-out single.
That's pretty incredible. As deep as Caswell was playing, he still couldn't track that one down. Ball hit hard with a lot of top spin. The ball just accelerates by Matsui. He looked like a soccer goalie. Penalty kick, laying out.
Now Raul Ibanez. Ibanez 272, 27 homers, 79 runs batted in. He was 1 for 4 last night. There's strike 1. Got a night off Friday night. He's been slumping. Hit 193 with 1 homer in the month of August. Charlie Manuel said in one story he's getting beat right now. It seems like he's waiting too long at times to start striding. It's 1-1.
And we saw that last night behind the fastball most of the time, and at times just not even able to get the bat started. He a little scratch single to left field. Not the hitter he was the first half.
Strike 2 to Ibanez. Came out of the gate roaring, hitting .359 in April. 7 homers, hit 10 more homers in May. And became an all-star for the first time at age 37. He's had a groin strain. And the fastball whiffs him. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. Bud Norris has given up a Jimmy Rollins homer. Now Cole Hamels takes the hill in just a moment. PHI music. Phillies got a leadoff homer from Jimmy Rollins, their all-time leader in leadoff homers. Now the Astros come up with this starting lineup. Against Cole Hamels, it's Michael Bourne at center, Kazuo Matsui at second, Lance Berkman at first, Carlos Lee in left field, Miguel Tejada shortstop, Hunter Pence right field, Jeff Plum third base, J.R. Tolles catcher, and pitcher's Bud Norris. Now Wally Bell's ready to go, and it's Cole Hamels pitching. Michael Bourne rolls one out to second. One pitch, one out for Hamels.
Hamels 8-8 this year with a 4.26 ERA. Last two times out, very, very good. 8 shutout against the Pirates in a no decision, and then a complete game shutout over the Giants on Tuesday. His second shutout of the season. Defensively, he'll get help from Ibanez, Worth, and Francisco. Shane Victorino's got a banged up knee. Leaves Rollins on the left side. Utley Howard on the right. Carlos Ruiz flashes the signals for Hamels. Stylish lefty with a great changeup.
Strike to Kazuo Matsui, showing bunt, a 244 hitter with 5 homers, 36 runs batted in, and the game winner last night. He's 3 for 10 in the series. No balls, 2 strikes. Hamels was dinged up a little bit back in April. Had a bruised shoulder in one game. At home, a loss to Milwaukee, and then sprained his ankle in the next game. Strikes out Matsui.
It's an important piece of the rotation. Cole Hamels, so good for them last year, outstanding in the postseason for the Phillies. He's a guy who likes to work up with that fastball. He'll slow the bat down with a good changeup, and then he'll show you that heater up in your eyes. It's so tantalizing, you tend to chase it, but it's hard to get to.
Now Lance Berkman, 271, 18 homers, 65 runs batted in, 1 hit in this series. Lance is hitting .210 against lefties this year. And there's strike 1 to him. Got a day off in Chicago against lefty Ted Lilly. Lance is averaging 1 walk every 5.5 plate appearances, which leads the majors. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's now walked 83 times. He's 5 for 15 against Hamels. Walked a couple of times last night, going 0 for 2. He's been on this long homerless stretch now. 2 balls and a strike. I asked the skipper, Cecil Cooper, about that. 28 games without a home run for Lance. He said it might be in his head a little bit right now. 2-2. He said when he bats left-handed, he seems to be trying to pull the ball a little bit more than normal.
There's that good changeup. Has Lance way out on the front side.
And it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hamels has walked only 34, 157 innings. Carlos Lee on deck. Lance with a very good look at that off-speed pitch, takes it for ball 4.
It's a Lance walk, 2 out, nobody on. Still going to be very cautious with Lance, and he's such a smart hitter, whereas Hamels is going to get a lot of swings and misses on that 3-2 changeup. A patient hitter like Berkman, obviously he was thinking along with Hamels, anticipating that changeup, able to lay off of it.
Carlos Lee, 308, 23 homers, 86 runs batted in, including a home run in this series Friday night. Carlos takes strike 1. He is 2 for 11, including a homer against Hamels in his career. A 3-run homer off Cole Hamels here last year. Fly ball hits for center field. Jason Worth got a good jump on it over into right center for the 3rd out. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 1-0 Philadelphia after 1.
come celebrate your Labor Day with the Astros for the final game against the Phillies tomorrow at 1:05. The first 10,000 adults 16 and older will receive an Astros grilling apron courtesy of Kielbasa Sausage. For more information and tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS today. Brownie?
Thanks, Patty. We know you're going to visit the grill master himself tomorrow night, the guy who is modeling that apron. Has he promised to wear it for you?
He has promised to wear it, but he hasn't promised to actually grill. He's promised to use it for spill. So either that means he's catering or his wife is cooking.
Okay.
If you got an A player in your lineup, you lean on him. In this instance, Herb.
Yeah.
They're
Francisco.
Moral support only.
Francisco with a fly ball to Michael Bourne. And it's out number one. Well, folks are doing all those family things, hopefully, this weekend. Hope it's a special weekend for you. Labor Day start time of 1:05 for the Astros and Phillies tomorrow to wrap up this 4-game series. It'll be Brian Moeller and Jay Happ. Pedro Feliz, 272, 9 homers, 65 runs batted in.
Used to be in baseball, the holidays meant double headers. Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day, kind of marked the passage of the season, early, middle, and late.
No balls, 2 strikes from the Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Year this year, Bud Norris. And he whiffs Feliz. That's number 3 for Norris.
The beauty of having that arm. He missed his spot by about 2 feet. Watch where JR is. Watch where the pitch goes. But at 96 miles an hour and out of the zone is not a bad idea with Feliz anyway. He's a very aggressive hitter. Why give in when you don't have to?
Carlos Ruiz, a 254 hitter, has 8 homers, 35 runs batted in. Big series for Carlos with 4 hits already. And make it 5 as he grounds that one to the right of Jeff Plum into the left field corner. Heads for second base. Ruiz with his 21st double of the year. That's hit number 3 for the Phillies.
Well, that'll get Hamels to the plate. Nothing else. The Phillies will have the top of the order coming up in the 3rd if Hamels isn't able to deliver. That's good news for Charlie Manuel. Good swing of the bat here by Ruiz. He continues to swing it well this weekend. Put a list of who you're most worried about in that Phillies lineup. Carlos is going to be way down there, but he's having a nice weekend.
Cole Hamels has 3 runs batted in. He has 3 doubles among his 6 hits and 47 at bats. Strike to Hamels, a 128 hitter.
I suggest we get him out quick because it's 126 now.
Okay.
He's a 128 hitter. He's going to be really good in a couple of minutes.
No balls, 2 strikes to Cole Hamels. Had that magical finish to the season last year. Hamels a first-round pick in 2002 by the Phillies. He was 14-10, but then the World Series MVP. Fouled away in the playoffs. He was 4-0 with an ERA of 1.80. He won 1 game. Didn't give up an earned run in the division series. 2-0 in the NLCS, MVP there. And then 1-0 in the World Series and more MVP honors. Hamels is down on strikes. That's number 4 for Norris. 1-0 Phillies. Kobe Ellsbury's #1. Then it's Carl Crawford of Houston. Michael Bourne of Houston. Niger Morgan is out for the season with a broken bone in his hand. Sean Figgins has 39 with the Angels. He is 5th.
So much for that theory that the American League's the Power League and the National League's the Speed League. American League guys running wild, but Michael's got a chance to run down Carl Crawford. It's kind of fun, old buddies.
What are those seats?
They're right there.
Yeah,
that's where they are.
They look comfortable wherever they are. And here's the home second inning. Miguel Tejada. He lines one to left field. He heads for the wall. Tejada makes the turn towards second. Ibanez picks it up. A double for Tejada. His 38th of the year.
And that's no part of that Hamels changeup. He jumped on that first fastball. Hit a BB off the scoreboard last night. Was held to a single because the ball was hit so hard. Ibanez was able to get to it in a hurry. This time a couple of bounces before reaching the scoreboard. He turns it into a leadoff double.
First Houston hit goes to the shortstop Tejada, his 160th hit of the year. And he's aboard for Hunter Pence, who's put together an 8-game hitting streak. Hitting the ball very hard in this series. Homers in each of his last 2 games. Way upstairs, ball 1 to Pence. A .285 hitter with 22 bombs, 64 runs batted in. This is the 4th time this season he has hit home runs in consecutive games, and he's 4 for 7 in the series. In the air, and Jimmy Rollins is out into shallow left field. 1 out. Now Jeff Blum. Jeff Keppinger is still sidelined with a bad back. He was out last night as well. He might be out a few more days, Cecil Cooper said before the game today. And so Blum, who has 23 at-bats as a right-handed hitter this season, comes up against the lefty Hamels. .391 batting average for Jeff with 9 hits in those 23 at-bats.
Well, the Phillies have a lot of left-handed pitching, starting pitching especially. Unfortunately, Keppinger not available. Another lefty going tomorrow, Jay Happ.
There's strike 1. J.R. Tolles on deck. Just wondering if the fact that Keppinger is not available and might not be for a few more days perhaps could figure into the September call-up picture. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Hamels with 8 wins and 8 losses.
Well, obviously there's no reason at this time of the year to play short. You got guys banged up, all guys up from the minor leagues to fill in.
2-1. Cecil Cooper was asked again today before the game, and of course he's not divulging who the September call-ups are. He knows who they are, but he predicted that media would be surprised. There would be a surprise there, he said.
Yeah, I think Jeff Bagwell's thinking about coming out of retirement. That's the one I heard.
Okay.
Circulating. Apparently, he's been out in Bora Bora under top secret conditions, training, climbing trees and hitting pineapples.
Sean Barry said he hasn't heard from him, but he said, I know he must be in town. School's starting Tuesday. That's a strike, and Blummer's caught looking. Strikeout number 2.
There's some pitchers we refer to as east and west because they get you out with movement going in and away. Hamels is a front and back guy. Just get your timing off because of that good changeup. He's so aware of his changeup. Tough to pull the trigger when he comes to the fastball. Telling yourself, stay back, wait. The next thing you know, if he throws that fastball, it's on you before you can get it started.
J.R. Tolles this year at Round Rock was hitting .276 with 4 homers, 22 runs batted in. He had a .386 on base percentage in 56 games for the Express. He was on the DL there twice. Most recently a hamstring injury, but had returned to play several games, and is the September call-up. Who gets the start today. Now Ruiz out.
Yeah, hurt the hammy. Spent some time on the DL. Tried to come back probably a little too quickly. Re-injured it. Spent some time on the shelf again with the hamstring. He also broke his nose this year. behind the tractor, got whacked in the face with a tree limb. It's been an eventful year for JR.
Absolutely has. He's had only 145 at bats at AAA and 11 at the big league level this season. 2-0, but Cecil Cooper was indicating before the game, and he also talked about the fact that Toles had caught Norris at Round Rock, and because he has been here with the Astros previously last couple of years, and the Astros want to give him some playing time here in September. He said it's difficult to take time away from the other two catchers, but we'll pick a few spots here and there to get him in there.
Yeah, you know, everybody knows that Jason Castro is on the rise and is going to be the guy for the Astros at some point in the future. But until that happens, there's opportunity there. It's a big chance for JR.
It's 3-1, and Coop said he had absolutely no issues whatsoever with JR's defensive play when he was with the Astros earlier this season. But he didn't hit much, because he didn't have many at-bats. There's a big at-bat right here with a runner at second at 2 outs, trailing by 1. And he takes a walk. Bud Norris bats. They are not too over anxious. Second walk from Hamels, and Norris is 2 for 8 as a hitter.
Hamels willing to tiptoe around Toles a little bit to go after Norris. That's a pretty good hitter.
Got a hit in his first major league start, that 2-0 win at St. Louis. There's strike one on the changeup. And then another hit on the road at Florida. He won those first 3 starts, and 2 of them really quality work. Beat the Cardinals and Adam Wainwright 2-0 with 7 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. He beat Milwaukee here with 6 innings of 2-run baseball. It's 1-1. Up behind the dish. Carlos Ruiz back, and it's out of play. We have happy birthday wishes going out to 13-year-old Jared Hazel.
Happy birthday, Jared. 13, that's a big year, man. That's one where you fully expect your parents to lavish you with gifts. Maybe even keys to a car that you could drive in a couple of years.
Oh boy. Now you're getting into it. Mother Mary Carroll might not be too fond of that remark right now. She looks in trouble. One ball, 2 strikes to Bud Norris of Green Bay, California. Popped up, Ryan Howard over into foul ground. And it's no runs, a hit. Leadoff double wasted for the Astros. 1-0 Phillies after 2. Phillies won on a leadoff homer by Jimmy Rollins. The Astros nothing. Top of the third brings Bud Norris back to the hill against Rollinsworth and Utley. Philadelphia lineup, second in the league in runs scored. Very powerful bunch. And Rollins flexed his muscles as he led off the game in this fashion.
I picked on a high fastball up above the belt. That's not easy to do. Bud Norris has got that explosive fastball and a lot of pop-ups up there. Rollins will get that top hand engaged.
Rollins around for the second time. Phillies up 1-0. They have 3 hits. The Astros have 1. It's a ball 1. Phillies go on to Washington. They're on a 7-game road trip after this series finishes tomorrow afternoon. Rollins puts that one in the air, foul, and out of play. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Charlie Manuel's club slumping offensively the last couple of weeks. Every team's going to have lulls during a 162-game season.
I don't sense that there's a whole lot of panic with Charlie Manuel. As you go in West Virginia. There's enough panic in Philadelphia just from the fans and the media. Probably a big part of his job is just trying to deflect all of that from his players.
Yeah. They had a rough homestand in June. They were 1-8. Broken bat, Hunter Pence over. One down. They were swept at home by Toronto and Baltimore. And they played under 500 ball in the month of June, 11-15, but they still came out of June with a 1.5 lead. Right now they lead Florida by 6.5 and Atlanta by 8.5. Charlie's club eventually started to play better baseball at home after a lackluster first couple of months. Worth punches one to right field. Berkman over the shoulder.
You can almost see that one developing. Matsui wasn't going to get there. It was going to be an awfully tough chance for Lance. Straight back over his head. Ideally, you'd like the second baseman to be able to come over there. He's got a much better angle. Candy corn.
He loves to bust it up the line and make plays like that.
Catch it, get out of bounds, stop the clock. Good play.
2 down at Chase Utley. He lined to Berkman first time up. Utley went to UCLA and also the School of Hard Knocks. Ball 1. Tough player. Chase drove in 104 last year. It was his 4th straight year over 100. Norris missing low a little bit apparently, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. He has a shot at 100 again this year, needing 16 more to reach that figure. Don't know if Charlie will be resting some of his regulars as they clinch. Lined over second base into center field.
I imagine that's a question Charlie would not respond to. He probably doesn't want to hear anything about clinching at this stage. Very comfortable lead for the Phillies. I'm sure in his mind not insurmountable. If they're old enough, remember the '64 Phillies who were loaded down the stretch.
That was an ugly year. Ryan Howard singled on a 3-0 pitch to right field. Phillies fans rather not have remembered in those terms that they did for so long. Howard takes that pitch and it's ball 1 to him. Hit 2 homers and drove in 5 in game 4 of the World Series against Tampa Bay last year. Last September the Phillies were 17-8 that month. Howard was right there finishing the season with most homers and runs batted in the majors.
48 home runs, 146 driven in by Ryan Howard last year. Back in 06, he hit 58 bombs. His 162 game average, 49 home runs, 141 RBI.
He passed the 200 Major League home run figure earlier this season. And he reached 200 homers in 658 games, fewer than any player in history. Ralph Kiner about 50 games more to get there. Bounce at Berkman. He comes in. Good short hop play. And he retires Howard. No runs a hit. A man stranded. 1-0 Phillies in the third.
One, and there is a very special group out here at the ballpark today. Teal shirts everywhere scattered throughout the ballpark, and it is NCL, the National Charity League. And I'm here with one of the president-elects of the Heart of Texas chapter, Alice Rohrman. And Alice, tell us a little bit about NCL, what you guys do, and why you're here today.
National Charity League is an organization of mothers and daughters. We promote that relationship through philanthropy, community service, cultural events, and leadership development, especially for the girls.
And what did you guys, how many do you have out here today, and what was your philanthropy that you did this morning?
We have several hundred of us out here today, and this morning we collected food for CCSC, Christian Community Service Center. We did a food drive to restock their pantries, which were really low at the beginning of the school year.
And you guys were out here honored on the field with the Houston Astros. How fun for you is it to bring your group out here to the ballpark?
Oh, it was great. We had representatives from each of our chapters out here. There's about 25 chapters in Houston, so we were all out here supporting our food drive today.
And before I let you go, I heard a pretty incredible stat. This is a national organization. What kind of hours and what are you doing on a national level year-round?
Nationally, we give about 1 million hours to the community in various ways to different community projects, community service opportunities.
All right, well, good job today. I am also a member of NCLJD. I know your wife and your daughter are members also, so truly a great organization, and these girls do all kinds of wonderful things, guys.
They're Blue Bonnets. Lori and Kelly, part of the Blue Bonnet chapter.
Okay. After the single by Michael Bourne, there's strike one to Kazuo Matsui. Yeah, that's an outstanding program, putting these daughters together and working for the betterment of the community. Matsui struck out after Bourne had grounded out. Now a different start for Cole Hamels here with a speedy Bourne on. And he throws over.
Tough to run on Hamels this year. There's been 12 successful steals, but 10 have been caught. So just a little better than 50-50 proposition.
Bourne's going. Big jump. Ryan Howard with the throw, and it gets away from Rollins. He just took off on first move and still beat the play. They might have had him had Rollins held on. What do you think?
I think they would have, but that's the way to do it against a tough lefty. A guy with a good move, just go on first move and hope you guessed right, or outrun the ball when the relay comes from the first baseman. And it looks like he would have been out had Rollins handled that throw.
Ball beat him. That's a great look at it there on that nice tight shot. Now Bourne has stolen for the 51st time. He's there at second with nobody out. And Matsui fouls it away. 0-2. Cecil Cooper said today he thinks Michael's capable of stealing in the 70s for a full season. More than 70 bases, 65 or so. Michael.
Well, he's got 51 now. 30 some games left. He could easily end up with 60 this year.
Yeah.
Easily, maybe not.
We were talking about that before the game. And the club record 65. Michael had asked who had that and what it was. And so that would be a lot for this year. 15 more before the game today.
Well, because you want to run, you know, when it makes sense to run. You don't want to just run wild and put yourself at all kinds of risks. Because it's all about the percentage. You can rack up big stolen base numbers, but if you get caught behind that, it really doesn't do a whole lot for you, for the club. That's a good thing about Michael. He's been successful a high percentage of the time.
He's 51 of 61. He's going to third. It's lined up the right field line. He had it stolen.
Yeah, he had it stolen with 2 strikes. Matsui couldn't afford to take strike 3. And went out of the strike zone to foul that ball off. And Michael was going to get third there.
Michael's now the first Astro to have more than 50 steals since '90. Eric Yelding at 64. And there's that shot. Matsui protected with 2 strikes. Bourne had a big jump. Fly ball out into left center. Ibanez moves over. Bourne tags. Ibanez doesn't have a long throw to make. And he has to hold. Perfect one-hop throw, 1 out. The Astros had Tejada on second. Leadoff double in the second inning. He never advanced to third. Now Lance Berkman comes up.
Ultimately, need to have a chat with Hamels and maybe something on the order of, hey, let's make sure we take a couple looks back here at Bourne. Don't fall into a pattern. We can anticipate you going home.
Yeah, this would be a good time to steal that bag with 1 out. Berkman walked in the first inning. That's with 65 runs batted in the box, ready to go. Carlos Lee on deck. Over Utley into right center. Going around third, coming home. Throw to the plate by Francisco. Not in time. And now it gets away, and Berkman is hung up between first and second, but Howard wasn't at first base, so he gets back. Berkman ties at 1-1 with the RBI single. Utley was jockeying close to second. Berkman hit it over his head.
And a good read by Michael Bourne. Recognizing that this ball was going to drop in. You see it takes a little look at it and then takes off, scores easily. The throw comes home from Francisco. And with Ryan Howard in the cutoff position, not retreating back to cover the base, Berkman could afford to dance around a little bit out there and realizing there would be no play on him.
Now Carlos Lee took strike 1. He hit a fly ball to center in the first. Carlos is hitting very well against lefties, .356. That's 7th best in the league. No balls, 2 strikes for Cole Hamels. Carlos has an OPS of more than 1,000 against lefties this season, combined on base average and slugging percentage. Here at Minute Maid Park, Carlos has been a .343 hitter. That's 3rd best at home in the National League.
Breaks a streak of 21 consecutive scoreless innings for Hamels.
Bouncer goes past third base, foul. Hamels shut out the Giants 1-0 in his last start. September 1st on a 2-hitter. And the start prior to that, 8 innings of shutout ball at Pittsburgh. Grounded foul again. And a complete game shutout in Los Angeles June 4th, a 5-hitter on that occasion.
Close to home, he grew up just north of San Diego, Rancho Bernardo High School. Hank Blaylock also went to that school.
Okay. Fly ball left field. Ibanez back at the base of the wall, leaping and making the catch. Berkman back to first. 2 outs.
Feeling for the wall and then tracking the ball, putting that away.
Now it's Miguel Tejada. Ibanez with that play. And Hamels 8 losses. The Phillies have scored a total of 16 runs. Tejada doubled in the 2nd inning. And there's strike 1. The Astros have won 7 of their last 9 at home. They're 37-30 at Minute Maid Park. Hamels undefeated against Houston in his career. Little roller. Tejada hustling. Utley flips out of his glove but can't get it to Howard in time for an infield hit for Tejada. He's 2 for 2. Berkman advancing to second. Reaching up for his jaw.
Yeah, he went head first into first base. Boy, if Mickey can't talk, that's going to be a big problem. That's a big part of his game. I don't mean to make light. He's hurt. I think he's going to be okay.
He plowed some ground with his chin.
Yeah. I think the helmet, the helmet got him, bounced up and got him.
He did.
You get there faster if you run through the bag, but on a play like that, he may be anticipating a possible tag play, as he knew Utley was going to be in a tough spot in the last ditch effort with the flip to try to get him.
Ball got stuck in Utley's glove for a fraction of a second. Now Hunter Pence. Ball 1. Hunter popped the short in the 2nd inning. Put on a clinic in the first 2 games of this series, hitting the ball hard to right field. Both of his homers have come to right. Last night he had an RBI single up the middle.
And it gets a guy with such a good changeup the other way is a good approach.
Ball 1 strike.
Hamels working hard in with a couple of heaters trying to get him off that changeup. I feel like the guy's looking the other way or willing to stay back to try to take you the other way. And you want to come hard in.
Jeff Plum's on deck.
It is a chess match. Punch, counter punch. And pretty soft away. He plays with Wally Bell's strike zone right now.
Hamels was 15-5 in 07. He was an all-star that year. He's 25 years old. He's 3-0 against the Astros. Has 5 career starts. The Phillies have won all 5 against Houston. He's 2-0 here at Minute Maid Park with a 4.34 ERA. Last year he didn't get a decision. Gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. The Phillies won it 15-6. Roll to third. There's a throw from Feliz to Utley for the force on Tejada. And the Astros settle for a run on 3 hits, 2 men left. They break the consecutive shutout inning streak. For Hamels in 21 innings, it's tied 1-1.
State and Astros history is brought to you by the M.D. Anderson Cancer Center. September 6, 1980. Art Howe ties a club record with his 8th consecutive hit, 2-run single. The Astros beat the Redbirds 9-5. In the nightcap, Cheo Cruz hits a grand slam into 6-4 wins, sweeping those birds. Way to go, fellas.
They went on to play the Phillies in that postseason series, a terrific postseason series. Raul Ibanez takes strike one. Struck out in the first inning.
The 5-game series went to distance. 4 of the 5 are extra inning ball games.
No balls, 2 strikes. Years later after that series, Dallas Green came into the Astrodome when he was managing the Mets, and he said that was the most noise I've ever heard on a baseball field. Fly ball to center field, Michael Bourne coming in. He just talked about how definite it was in the Astrodome. This Jack in the Box standings now will feature the Astros minor league report and show you Jason Castro. He hit .293 at Corpus after being promoted from Class A Lancaster. Kobe Clements, 118 runs batted in for Lancaster and a .342 average. Mark Sacamano had a 66 RBI season at Round Rock going into the final 2 games. Tommy Manziel at .288 with 9 homers and 56 driven in for Round Rock. Francisco with a towering shot to left field. They're getting up in the Landry Crawford boxes, and the Phillies lead it 2-1. Ben Francisco hitting number 3 for the Phillies, and he's driven in 9 for them.
Well, you know, I'm sure Bud Norris is getting the message from Dewey Robinson and Coop and everybody, hey, you got to throw strikes, you got to be aggressive. And so he challenges with the heater, and Francisco jumps all over. But again, trying to go down and away, and he had that ball drift over the middle on him. The key to pitching at this level is the ability to get ahead in the count without giving in to the fat part of the strike zone. Or getting ahead of the count. Getting ahead of the count with something other than the fastball.
Center field by Feliz, brought by Bourne, 2 outs. Phillies lead the league in total bases and in homers. They have hit 8 grand slams this year. 2 outs, and it's Ruiz. He doubled to left.
What was that number you had last night? The most home run dependent team in baseball, 46% of their runs, something like that, coming via the long ball.
Yes. Situational hitting has not been too good. There's strike 1. Ruiz, that double first time up, really sizzling in this series. They're hitting only .158 with men in scoring position for their last 95 at bats. Reading one story, Chase Utley pointed out, well, we'd rather be having chances with men in scoring position than not getting guys there. Polk, and Berkman catches the liner for round number 3. Francisco, home run number 3, lets the Phillies in front 2-1 in the 4th.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park. 2-1 Phillies, and join the Astros for our Salute to Heroes on September 11th at 7:05 against the Pirates, honoring our local police, fire, EMS workers, and our military. The first 10,000 fans will receive a patriotic cap, courtesy of Chase Bank, and the first 20,000 fans will get a mini U.S. flag, courtesy of Arnie's Texas-sized party store. Plus, members of the police force, fire department, EMS, and military can receive half-price tickets and participate in an in-field pregame ceremony. Check out all the details at astros.com/heroes. Guys?
Thanks, Patty. There's strike one to Jeff Blum. 2-1 Phillies. Bottom of the fourth inning. Blum struck out looking in the second. Phillies have 5 hits. The Astros have 4. Slightly attired crowd there. Fly ball to center. Worth in. One out for Hamels. And J.R. Tolles took the 2-out walk with first base open in the second inning. Then Bud Norris fouled out to get Hamels out of that frame. Hamels had a no-hitter against the Astros back in September of '06 in this ballpark against Jason Hirsch for 6 2/3 innings. He wound up with a 7-2 win, giving up just 3 hits and 2 runs for 7 2/3. Strike one to Tolles. Phillies beat the Brewers last September in the playoffs, and they had beaten them 4 games in a row during the season, and then took them 3 games to 1 in the division series. No balls, 2 strikes. And they also swept the Dodgers in a 4-game series in late August. Then they beat the Dodgers 4 games to 1 in the NL Championship Series.
And if the season were to end today, if the wild card didn't change, it would be the Phillies and the Dodgers again. Rockies now have a 1-game lead in the wild card. They get the Cardinals.
Well, if the Phillies would wind up playing the Giants in October, they've just won 2 out of 3 from them. The wild card's going to be fun to watch in the National League. Rockies and Giants.
Fish hanging in there. Still have a fighting chance.
Yeah, they do. Frank Trevino is attending a birthday party with his camera up in the upper deck in right field. Strike 3 for Hamels. Number 3.
When hitters are struggling with their timing, they'll tell you they're caught in between. When you face Cole Hamels, even if you're not struggling, you tend to get caught in between because of the good off-speed pitch. There's the NL East. Philly in real good shape. 6.5 game lead over the Fish. Atlanta 8.5 off the pace. A miserable year for the Metropolitans. A lot of people thought they would win this division.
Strike to Bud Norris. Bud fouled out with 2 men on to end the second inning. And this drops a hook on him, and it's 0-2.
And mostly fastball changeup from Hamels. He starts to work that breaking pitch in a little bit more 3rd time around.
He does, and he gets strikeout number 4. He has a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning, and it's 2-1 Phillies through 4. JD.
It's the Subway summary, by golly. Jimmy Rollins hit a home run. Lance Berkman had an RBI single. And Francisco went deep in the fourth. And the Phillies, we talked about their offense being so dependent on the home run. That has been evident here today.
2-1 game, and there's a swing and a miss by Cole Hamels. Starting inning number 5, he struck out in the second.
Good swing. He's a good athlete. He's a very good beach volleyball player.
Yeah.
You know, Southern California guy, loves the beach. Just tear it up at Del Mar Beach. Two-man volleyball.
And if we ever ran across Karch Karai.
I used to hang a little bit with Jeff Spicoli.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, if he's lucky, maybe Larry Anderson has tutored him on the art of hitting. We were busting our old buddy Larry's chops a little bit on the air last night. He found out about it.
Yeah, you can't get away with anything.
His spies are out in Houston.
I'm always stunned when people say, I heard you say, I said, you listen? You listen to this drivel? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, Andy caught us red-handed today.
Chase, his son, with him for this series, hanging out in the booth. It was last night anyway.
Andy very stylishly attired today. Foul back, and it's still a 1 ball 2 strike count. Well, had Andy been a starting pitcher, we could really do a number on him, but he didn't get many at-bats in his career.
No, you know, and Andy actually was a very good athlete. He was an outstanding high school quarterback.
Rolled out to second base. Matsui to Berkman. 1 out. And Andy is not hesitant to point out his legacy upon leaving the city of Houston was Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah. Well, Larry Dierker used to make the point that Larry Anderson was probably the most valuable player in the history of the franchise because while here he pitched very well, and then we traded him for Bagwell. I mean, that's a lot of value. And he pitched good. You know, that's the other thing. People say, what a bad move for the Red Sox. Well, they did. They unloaded a great player, obviously. But Larry held up his end. He pitched very well for the Red Sox.
He did.
In 1990.
Jimmy Rollins led off this game with a homer. Then he hit a fly ball to right in the third. Well, we were talking about that trade a few days ago. This ball one. One of the great trades, certainly in Astros history. But Bagwell's kind of buried at third base in the Boston organization. Wade Boggs was their everyday third baseman. They had Scott Cooper. And Jeff had hit maybe 3 or 4 home runs at Double-A. New Britain the year before he got traded. That year he got traded. So not too many folks could project him as a 449 home run hitter in the big leagues.
Bob Watson did.
Yeah, he
did.
did.
Was all over it.
Yep.
He pitched 15 times for the Red Sox after the trade. He was 4-0 with a 1.23 ERA. 22 innings, struck out 25, walked 3.
There's a bouncer. Was it Lou Gorman, the GM of the Red Sox at the time? Trying to remember there.
That sounds right.
Okay. And he caught all kinds of flack, obviously, for years to come after that deal. But that is a typical type of baseball trade. A club in the hunt, trying to get a player to push it over the top, maybe win a World Series. You don't know how it's going to work out. 2 outs there as Berkman retires Rollins. Giving up a prospect to a club which is rebuilding. 64 pitches for Bud Norris. Jason Worth is 0 for 2. Worth struck out and he popped to Lance Berkman.
It's the type of deal the Astros really haven't made in recent years. Having been in the hunt for the most part. Back to 2000, they traded Doug Henry to the Giants for Scott Linebrink.
That was a good deal.
getting rid of Scott Linebrick maybe wasn't a good deal.
No.
He turned out to be a pretty good pitcher.
Mets lead the Cubs 2-1, bottom of the 7th at New York. Daniel Murphy hit his 9th home run. 1-2 to Worth with Utley on deck. Toronto 8, the Yankees 5. Bottom of the 5th in Toronto. Nick Swisher hit his 24th for New York. Worth strikes out on the fastball from Norris. It's strikeout number 5 for Bud. It's 2-1 Phillies in the 5th. Phillies 2, Astros 1, bottom of the 5th inning. It's Michael Bourne leading it off against Cole Hamels. Showing bunt, taking ball 1 with third baseman Feliz in on the grass. Ryan Howard shortened up at first.
And Michael last night able to take advantage of Feliz shortened up, was able to poke a chopper right through that hole on the left side. If Hamels starts to use his curveball more, he threw 2 dandies to Bud Norris. And it's a smart play if you haven't used the pitch a lot and you've got the opposing pitcher up there in a non-threatening situation. Break it out, see how it feels, and see if he starts to implement it a little bit more.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Transplanted Michigan fan.
Yeah.
Curve.
2-2. Marlins 1, Nationals nothing. Top of the 7th at Washington.
Michael's going to throw you a fastball in, jerk it into the right field corner. No, he's not. Fastball away.
Anibal Sanchez started that game for the Marlins at Washington. Hanley Ramirez hit his 21st homer for the game's only run so far.
Well, they had some clubhouse issues. He and Dan Uggla were getting after it the other day.
Well, apparently Hanley came out of a game. There's a bouncer up the middle. Chase Utley with a throw, not in time. Infield hit. Michael Bourne, he's 2 for 3.
I believe it was Jimmy Rollins, the shortstop of the Phillies, who said there's fast, there's really fast, and then there's Michael Bourne fast. So they know all about his speed. Watch how quickly Utley tries to get rid of this one. To no avail.
He was a blur. Utley was trying to get over, get his right foot set, make a quick throw. And Bourne beat the play. Now he's aboard for Matsui. Matsui's 0 for 2. A strikeout, a fly ball to left. Bourne stole second in the third inning on a pickoff throw to first. There's another one. .38 infield hits for Michael. He's the NL leader. Misses to Matsui, and it's ball one. Matsui's walk-off hit last night in the bottom of the ninth, his second of his career, the first since May of '04 for Caswell. Now it's 2-0, and Bourne's having a good time here with Hamels. He's occupying a portion of Cole's attention.
Bluffing to go as soon as Cole picks up his leg and is looking at him, and it's an advantage for a left-handed pitcher when holding base runners on, of course, because you're looking right at the guy. It's tougher for a base runner to get a jump. But it can be an issue at times if you're looking at a runner and he bluffs or he goes. It can set your concentration a little bit and affect the delivery to home plate.
That's true, because you, as a left-hander, can see him where a right-hander will not be able to see him.
Halfway through your delivery, you go, rats. It's gone.
Throw over. We got some updated stats recently on throws to first base. They certainly have been a deterrent to base stealing down through the years, and they continue to be in this decade. Bourne takes off. Here's Ryan Howard with a relay throw on to Jimmy Rollins. Safe again. Twice in this game, Michael Bourne has stolen bases on pickoff throws to first.
The first time there's a little bit of a mishandle by Jimmy Rollins. This time he just beats it. The Phillies execute well. And Hamels comes over. Howard pinches in, gets the angle for the throw, makes a good strong throw, but to no avail. The Phillies do everything right here.
And now Matsui has worked the count to 3-1. Well, Bourne did this in the third inning, getting over to third, or to second rather, with nobody out. And Berkman's hit allowed him to score. Matsui fouls it away. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Just dance around out there off second base. Just being a pest, being annoying. That's a good thing.
Michael's had several games here in August and September in which he's stolen a couple of bases. Back-to-back games in Florida with 2 steals. Bouncer off Hamels. Bourne's going to third. Rollins does not have a play. And it's first and third, nobody out. Matsui with an infield hit. He's 1 for 3.
If Hamels leaves the ball alone, they probably make a play on him, either Utley or Rollins. See Rollins where he's positioned. He's trying to keep Bourne in check. Yeah, I think Rollins probably has that comebacker. But the deflection means no out for the Phillies. Good base running by Bourne to make sure he stays on the bag at third base, because Rollins' only option would have been a little backdoor play there at third had he rounded the base. If Clark drop an anchor there for Michael. Not only get to the bag, but stay on the bag.
Lance Berkman has runners at first and third, nobody out. He's walked, and he has an RBI single over Utley's head into right center.
So we got a ground ball to second and a ground ball to the mound, and we got first and third and nobody out.
Bourne comes up the line at third. It's 2-0. He is really having fun here in the 5th inning. Bouncing around off the bases. Getting that walking lead. A little roller, and he thought about it, but he's going to hold. Now Howard tags Berkman. Matsui to second and 1 out. Thought about trying to come home.
Sometimes the guys that can really run themselves into some trouble because they love to take advantage of their speed. He was tempted, but he made the right decision.
He's there at third with 1 out for Carlos Lee now. He has hit 2 fly balls, 1 to center, 1 to left. If he hits either one of those here, it's a run to tie this game. And there's strike 1. Carlos has 7 sacrifice flies.
Fly ball of any depth and a ground ball anywhere but to the mound gets a run home.
Hamels is in front of him 0-2.
Hamels thinking strikeout. Caballo, though, in these situations, difficult to finish out. Doesn't strike out a lot. Going into a little bit of a 2-strike approach.
One and 2 to Lee, who hit a 3-run homer off Hamels here last year. And he drove in 4 in that game. Hamels worked 227 innings last season. Came into this game in 156. Foul ball. Hamels was plagued by injuries throughout his minor league career.
Looked like the curveball might have been a changeup. Whatever it was a good off-speed pitch. And Carlos just got a piece of it. Leg issue, back issues, right?
Yeah, had left hand surgery 1 year. Soft pop goes out of play, and so he really went after it. Spring training to get ready for this season. 500 crunches. Nice bat. He gets massages, chiropractic treatments 3 times a week. Has a degenerative condition. Disc in his back, compress on his sciatic nerve. Going the runner at third. Matsui at second. 1 out. Popped up out of play again.
Away with a hanger there. It's gone soft on consecutive pitches now. Carlos out in front a little bit, but he's been able to stay alive and just start to wonder if they feel like they can beat him with an inside fastball now. The hitter in protect mode is usually thinking cover the outside corner, and especially with Hamels' changeup, protect against that changeup.
Well, they tried it, but he fouled that pitch.
Putting up a good battle here.
Carlos is a .303 career hitter with men in scoring position. Tough to strike out. 45 strikeouts this year for Carlos Lee in more than 500 at-bats. Line drive right field. That gets Barnholm. Matsui's coming in. Francisco with a throw to the plate. Not in time. Throw to second. Lee is safe. And the Astros take a 3-2 lead. Great at bat for Carlos Lee. 88 runs batted in.
Reminiscent of the at-bat Wandy, yes, I say Wandy Rodriguez had a couple of nights ago when he got the key hit in that game. And this is just a great swing of the bat by Carlos. The cat and mouse game between Hamels and Carlos and the catcher Ruiz. They really worked hard. Gave him a lot of good pitches. He was able to foul a bunch of them off. And even that last pitch was a good pitch down and away. And Carlos in protect mode, able to poke that line drive to right field.
Pitching coach Rich Doobie out to the mound. Tough inning for Hamels. Infield hit for Bourne. Stolen base. Infield hit for Matsui. And now this battle with Lee, and Lee just cuts down on his swing.
That's a clinic right there.
Yep.
Get the video of that and show your high schoolers a big time approach in an RBI situation. A couple of strikes. That is just a tremendous at bat. Gets the front foot down, keeps the hands back, and just punches it into right field.
Now Well, 3-2 Astros. Webkin's day.
Buy a horse. He's off and running.
Tejada is 2 for 2, a double and a single.
Well, he's got Hamel stepping off. Carlos bouncing around like he wanted to take third base.
Yeah. Energetic game on the bases for the Astros today. Tejada looks at ball 1. 7 Houston hits, 5 for the Phillies. Hunter Pence is on deck. Inside to Miggy, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Atlanta has just scored in the bottom of the 7th, still batting, leading Cincinnati 2-1. David Ross with his 7th home run. Now it's 3 balls, no strikes. Hamels at 88 pitches.
It's a breakdown by innings. I know it's awfully hard. The 2nd, 3rd, and now 5th.
3-1. Baltimore shutting out Texas 6-0 after 6 in Baltimore. Jeremy Guthrie on the mound against the Rangers. Up the right field line, but foul. 3-2 now to Miggy.
Maybe a little behind that fastball, and you can understand why. Then one changeup after another, even on 3-0, Hamels threw a changeup. Hard to sit fastball when a guy's willing to throw you a 3-0 changeup.
What was that guy eating? A pink piece of paper? Shot into the left field corner. It kicks out toward center field. Carlos Lee will score to make it 4-2. Tejada into second, diving. He has his 3rd straight hit. It's a 3-run 5th. Still only 1 out for the Astros. Tejada gets RBI number 70.
And just another real good at bat. Carlos had that great AB, and then Miggy showing real nice discipline. Working himself into a favorable count. Hamels came back to the changeup, but this one drifted over the inner 3rd. Instead of moving down and away, Tejada whacked it. Miggy lost track of where that ball was because he stopped around first base before picking it up and then advancing into second.
Hunter Pence, strike 1. Chad Durbin warms up for the Phillies in their bullpen. 39 doubles for Miggy, ties him for the league lead now with Hanley Ramirez of Florida. Jeff Blum on deck. Pence is 0 for 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Hunter's hit .407 during his 8-game hitting streak. It's Tampa Bay 3, Detroit 1. They played 7 in St. Petersburg. Evan Longoria hit another one, number 28 for the Rays. Aubrey Huff, number 14 for Detroit. St. Louis 4, Pittsburgh 4. They've played 6 in Pittsburgh. Pirates have lost 81 games this year, trying to avoid a 17th consecutive losing season.
That would be a record.
Yes, it would be. 2-2 for any of the 4 major professional team sports. The team has had 17 consecutive losing seasons.
Washington Generals probably have a winning season somewhere in their history.
Pop back, and it's still 2-2. Hamels really working hard. 96 pitches. Phillies have had 16 quality starts in their last 24 games. Last night, Joe Blanton gave them another one. 6 innings of work, giving up 3 runs. Hamels strikes out Pence. Number 5 in the strikeout department, 2 outs.
In that high fastball, such an effective weapon for him.
Jeff Blum struck out looking in the second, hit a fly ball to center in the 4th inning. J.R. Tolles on deck. Fly ball right center. Francisco comes in. And the Astros grab the lead in the 5th, coming up with 3 runs on 4 hits. They leave a man. It's now 4-2 Houston. Tomorrow at 105, it's Jay Happ, and he's a strong contender for the Rookie of the Year award in the National League with a 10-4 record, a 2.77 ERA. It looks like a picture of Joe Blanton. And Brian Moeller, 8-10 with a 5.11 ERA for the Astros.
And the Astros could be going for a 4-game sweep tomorrow. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. 6th inning underway with Chase Utley batting for the 3rd time. He's lined to first and single to center field. Road uniforms have been something the Phillies have worn to great success this season, with those 41 road wins and 25 losses. They lead the league in slugging and runs per game in day games as well. There is strike 1 to Utley. Very strong bid to repeat as world champions this year. That is not an easy thing to do. They have a .621 road winning percentage. Hunter Pence back in the corner in right field on the deep drive by Utley, and Utley takes the tour, but it's foul. He'll take a left turn and come back.
2 solo home runs today for the Phillies, and a bid for number 3, just foul. Utley, just a little bit of hook on that one.
Bud Norris gave up a leadoff homer in this game to Jimmy Rollins, a 1-out 4th inning long ball to Ben Francisco for the 2 Phillies runs.
Needs to weaken his grip a little bit and play a power fade.
He should be able to get that down. He's an avid golfer.
But he's quick inside.
Struck him out. That's number 6. Ryan Howard, 1 for 2. He hit a 3-0 pitch for a single first time up.
Slider down below the knees. Utley Makes an ill-advised hack.
Bud Norris, the avid golfer, looking forward to playing this winter quite a bit. He and his father have enjoyed good times on the golf course in Northern California. Bud went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. 24 years old, 6th round pick in 06 for the Astros. There's strike one to Howard. Pitched at Double-A Corpus Christi last season, working 80 innings there, and then he went to the Arizona Fall League with 19 more innings. Berkman tosses to Norris. 2 outs.
We talked at the beginning of the ball game that a key for Bud today might be his changeup, and he just threw back-to-back changeups there to Howard. Nice to get the positive feedback. And a dangerous hitter out. So 2 quick outs here with Utley and Howard. Here's a little bonus trivia for you. Who's the winningest pitcher in Major League Baseball history named Bud? A note in the Astros game notes today. Bud Norris is one of 4 players to play in the Major League since 2000 that goes by the name Bud. With Bud trivia. Buddy Carlisle, Buddy Groom, and Bud Smith. Neither of those are the answer to our question.
Well, this Bud was starting pitcher in the AAA All-Star game this year, or the PCL.
I thought you were going to say this Bud's for you.
1 ball. Well, that's how he got that nickname. He was out with his grandfather and his dad, and they ordered a Bud. He ordered a Bud. Line shot. He was about 3 years old. It's a hit to left center field. Ibanez is on. Hit number 6 for the Phillies.
Well, if you said Bud Black, you're a winner. Now manager of the San Diego Padres. Crafty left-hander.
Ben Francisco homered in the 4th. He's 1 for 2.
Tried to put together an all-Bud team for you, but we just ran out of bullets. Didn't have many recognizable Buds. You know, we had Buddy Bell and Bud Harrelson and Buddy Biancalana.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of guys we had no idea who they were. Buddy Hankin. We got Buddy Hankin.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the innings pitched by Bud Norris and other Astros young pitchers are being watched carefully. Cecil Cooper talked about that before the game today. And Bud did skip a start since the last time he started a game. So that's part of what the Astros are trying to do to make sure they don't overload his arm here at the end of a long season.
And, you know, he's been getting hit around a little bit. You see him looking at his hand there. He's been bothered with a nail problem on his pitching hand pretty much all year. He releases the ball, pulls on the nail of one of his fingers. Tries to put some acrylic on it and toughen it up. But it's been an issue all season long for him.
Line drive left, Carlos Lee over. In the 6th inning, it's no runs a hit and a runner stranded. The Astros lead it 4-2. Ford F-150 and by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Astros 4, Phillies 2 here inside Minute Maid Park. The Astros have won 7 of their last 9 home games, and they have come from behind to take the lead in this one by virtue of a 3-run 5th inning. J.R. Tolles leads off the home 6th. With his Sunday crowd getting ready for Labor Day tomorrow. Tolles has walked and struck out looking. Well, Hamels falls behind. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Hamels due up 3rd in the Phillies' 7th inning. There is bullpen action right now for Charlie Manuel. Aaron Boone's on deck for Houston. The changeup dips low and outside. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Astros have a hurler warming up. Sammy Hervasio is that right-hander with Aaron Boone on deck. Bud Norris due up next. Hamels delivers, and it's called strike 2 by Wally Bell. Now, Bud Norris with 6 innings today has pitched 158 2/3 innings this year. Tolles rips it foul. Still 2-2. Phillies have Jack Tashner, the lefty, and Tyler Walker warming up. Ouch. Hobbles away from home plate.
Bud threw 148 innings in 2006. 102 innings in 07. Last year, just 80 innings, made 19 starts for Corpus. So a career high in innings pitched this year. And obviously, Astros out of contention in the division. So it's just a balancing act between wanting to get him experience and innings, but you don't want to overuse him or risk injury. For my money, I'd like to see as much of these youngsters between now and the end of the season as possible. Norris and Paulino and Pizarro and whoever else may come from the minor leagues. Might as well take a look at some of these youngsters and see what they've got.
Norris has thrown 80 pitches today so far in 6 innings. Tolles is down on strikes. That's number 6 for Hamels. And Norris is leaving for the pinch hitter, Aaron Boone.
Bad idea. 6 solid innings after 3 rough starts. Get Bud out of this game, something he can build on.
Aaron Boone is 0 for 3 with the Astros. .239 in his major league career as a pinch hitter. This ball 1 for Aaron. He got the start in Chicago at first base. So Norris leaves with 6 innings of work, 6 hits, 2 runs allowed, no walks, 6 strikeouts. And Boone tries for his first Houston hit with a 2-0 count on Aaron. Aaron is a .297 career hitter here at Minute Maid Park. 57 of those pitches were strikes for Bud Norris. 2-1 to count with Hervasio warming up. And that's the first start in which Bud Norris has not walked anybody. Of his 7. And 1 walk against Florida. Broken bat behind second, caught by Utley. 2 down.
Hey folks, don't forget about the Hunter's Lodge ticket package presented by Gallery Furniture. $30 gets you a ticket, a 100-pence t-shirt with a new design each month. This month it's a camouflage design. You'll be entered into a monthly drawing for an Astros gift. This package available for every remaining home game. There's not a whole lot of them left, so we encourage you to jump on board at Astros.com. Here's the September version.
The camo look from that guy, Michael Bourne, in the air, left field line. Ibanez coming over into foul territory and unable to get there in time. He and Jimmy Rollins converged on that one. Strike 1 to Michael. His legs have been a big factor in this game.
Ibanez, that's a tough chance for the left field. He's got to work his way around that cutout in the stands. And he They both get a little gun shy there at the end. Sometimes you're better off when only one guy's in position to make a play.
Bourne fouls it back. No balls, 2 strikes. Hamels has thrown 111 pitches. Astros have really made him work.
They'll do up third in the top half of the inning, so this likely will be it for Hamels.
One and two. Bourne singled, stole a base, and scored in the 3rd inning. Singled, infield hit, stole a base, scored again in the 5th inning. Michael now has scored 87 runs this year. Changeup makes it 2-2.
You know, a combination of a little good luck and some real good at-bats in that 5th inning. The difference in this game so far, you can't argue that Hamels has pitched poorly, or he's not going to be thrilled with that line. 4 runs allowed in 6 innings if he finishes Michael off here.
Out to right center field. Francisco there. And it's caught by Worth. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Hamels departs with the score, 4-2 Astros. That was number 18. Then Ben Francisco added a homer in the 4th inning, his 3rd of the year. The Astros had scored in the 3rd on a Lance Berkman single, and then they came from behind to grab the lead. Miguel Tejada, a big part of things today, with 3 hits, including an RBI double. And Bud Norris with 6 innings of strong pitching, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 6.
Sammy Hervasio now on to work the 7th inning for the Astros. Gets the bottom of the Phillies order. He'll get Feliz Ruiz and a pinch hitter. 11 times he's gone to the hill, and he's done quite well. Scoreless baseball in 10 of those 11 trips. Solid numbers across the board for Slingin' Sammy.
Pedro Feliz looked at his first one. It's good for strike 1. Sammy's had a few days off. His last outing September 1st at Chicago. Last Tuesday. Feliz is struck out and fly to center. It's 0-2 for Sammy. Been very effective in his time with the Astros. He's retired the first batter in 10 of 11 outings. He's inherited 7 runners. Only 1 has scored. And it blows away Feliz. And then
happy. Not too happy right now. Side-on delivery. Busting that heater right by him.
Carlos Ruiz with Miguel Cairo on deck. He's 1 for 2. Double to left, line to first. Wesley Wright and Jeff Fulcino are working for Houston. strike to Ruiz. And Tim Burdack may very well not be available today. He's been pitching a lot, including the last 3 games. No balls, 2 strikes.
Sammy, 5 pitches, 5 strikes. He's got to be happy with what he's seen from this young right-hander.
He's averaging better than a strikeout per inning. Pitches often and effectively. Fulcino and Wright are warming up. 1-2. Sammy's had 1 stint of more. He's had 2 stints of 2 innings. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Made his major league debut mid-August at Milwaukee with 2 scoreless innings in that one. And around Rocky had a 4.82 ERA. He's been much more effective as far as ERA in the majors. 3-2 now. Charlie Manuel has lefty hitters on the bench. Matt Stairs, Paul Bacco, switch hitter Shane Victorino might not be available with a swollen knee. Popped up, Tejada out in the shallow left field. 2 outs. And it'll be the righty hitting Miguel Cairo, batting for Hamels. Hamels in 6 innings allowed the Astros 8 hits, 4 runs. He walked 2 and fanned 6. And he's on the hook right now as Cairo bats. Cairo, a 167 hitter, 4 hits and 24 at bats. Has no homers or runs batted in. Ed Romero keeps track of all the players there with Coop. Cairo pinch hit on Friday night. He was 1 for 15 pinch hitting this season. He was in the starting lineup last night and went 2 for 4, single and a double. Jimmy Rollins on deck. Arvasio throws another strike to even the count at 1-1. Arvasio from the Dominican. Cairo was born in Venezuela.
Not a bad try.
Nope. 2-1.
Maybe a little down, maybe a little in.
Arvasio, just 24 years old, pitched at Corpus Christi last year. Now he's fallen behind 3-1.
The Astros have done a nice job. Coop has of how he's used Sammy Hervasio, mostly against right-handed hitters, kind of easing him into the big leagues. I'd like to see him face some dangerous lefties, though, just to see how he goes about it.
Yeah, it's generally assumed by a lot of people that a guy with Hervasio's delivery is going to be tougher on right-handed batters, and he's going to have a lot more of a challenge against lefty hitters. Doesn't always go that way. (3-2) to Cairo. And up the middle for a hit. Pinch single for Miguel Cairo. Brings up Jimmy Rollins.
See if looks like Coop's going to make the move here. You can understand that. Rollins 1 swing away from tying this game. Coop may prefer to have him from the right side. He's got Wesley Wright ready to go.
Rollins is hitting .228 as a right-handed batter, .250 left.
Homered from the left side already today. All of his at-bats have come as a left-handed hitter, so a chance to turn him around. Coop's going to take advantage of it.
4-2. The Astros lead it. Wesley Wright coming in. Back in a moment. And he had missed 18 games with a left shoulder strain, but he has not pitched for the Astros since August 11th, JD.
Well, so he comes into a difficult situation here. 2-run lead, tying run. Represented by Jimmy Rollins in the batter's box. Wesley 33 times to Hill this year. 5.97 ERA, 2.96 opponent batting average. You see he's allowed 7 home runs. All 7 of those have come from right-handed hitters.
Jimmy Rollins led off the game batting left-handed, hit a home run off Bud Norris. He's 1 for 3. Now the switch hitter has a runner at first in Cairo and 2 outs. Ground ball third. Jeff Blum to his left. Throws for the force play to Matsui. 1 pitch, and that's the final out as Wesley Wright returns to the Astros. It's no runs a hit and a man left. And the fans will join in the singing of God Bless America here with the Astros leading it at 7th inning stretch time, 4-2.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, on this Sunday afternoon, we kindly ask that you
It's 4-2. The Astros leading. Wesley Wright getting a key out to work with Sammy Hervasio. Put together a scoreless top of the 7th inning. Now the Astros will be batting in the bottom half of the 7th against veteran right-handed reliever Chad Durbin. 30 years old. Last year he pitched 87 innings for the Phillies. He is 1-2 this year with a 4.98 ERA.
Been tough to hit, just a 228 batting average against, but 38 walks is a pretty big number in 56 innings.
That's more than he walked last year in 87 innings. Kazuo Matsui got that infield hit off Cole Hamels' glove. Came around to score in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Bunts foul. Strike one. Well, Hamill's on the hook for the loss here, despite the fact that he took that lead to the bottom of the 5th inning, gave up a couple of infield hits, and then things came unraveled on the big at bat by Carlos Lee. Lined a 2-run single to right. Tejada followed with an RBI double to left. Durbin slider misses, and it's a 1-1 count. Durbin was drafted by Kansas City in '96. Then he bounced around to Cleveland, Arizona, Washington, Detroit. Foul back, and it's 1-2. He's from Spring Valley, Illinois. Been both a starter and reliever in the big leagues. So he fouls it.
It's like he's trying to cut his fastball. He's trying to get a little late movement in on the hands of Matsui.
Durbin spent several weeks on the disabled list for the right latissimus dorsi strain. Came off the DL August 10th. Now the Phillies hope to get everybody functioning effectively for the postseason. Broken bat. Yeah, he cut it in on his hands there, and Howard tosses to Durbin. That'll break a few bats.
Yeah, now that's a cut fastball right there. Mariano Rivera-esque. Hitting on the knuckles.
Now Lance Berkman. Let's see what the home plate umpire is doing. Wally Bell
checking that ball for blood.
Lance Berkman has a walk, an RBI single, and a ground out. Now Cecil Cooper, we were talking about Lance and his hitting, and said, well, if you notice when he homers here at home, he doesn't hit too many to right field batting left-handed. It's a lot of balls to left center field really hard. This ball one.
Yeah, it's center field, straightaway center field. That's his stroke.
One ball, one strike.
He actually gets penalized by this ballpark. I think a lot of left-handed hitters, when they get beat by a fastball, will knock it into the Crawford boxes, or they have that off-field approach. But Lance hit so many balls to straightaway center field, and it's 436 to center field here. So a lot of his better drives get swallowed up.
436, that'll swallow up a few. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There was a lot of mitt movement there from the catcher Ruiz as that pitch moved at the end.
I like to watch Ruiz catch. He's a pretty heady guy back there. Gives a good target. He's very mobile without being sloppy. You know, some catchers, when you're looking for the target and they're moving all over the place. He moves late, but then gives you a good steady target.
Al Leiter was pointing out some differences on the Major League Baseball network between the cut fastball and the slider the other night. Pretty interesting explanation from Al. Bouncer to second. Utley short hops it, and it's out number 2. And he was pointing out that the cut fastball has become a lot more popular pitch in the last few years than the slider. It's harder for the hitter to recognize it, for one thing, the late break.
And a lot of times, too, it's a matter of the nomenclature. One guy's slider is another man's cutter. But generally, when you talk about a cut fastball, you're talking about a pitch that moves on one plane, just moves directly across the strike zone. The slider is going to move across and down. It's going to have some tilt to it.
So that would be an easier pitch for a lot of guys to command, wouldn't it? The cut fastball compared to the slider.
I don't know. I guess. I think a lot of it just depends on release point and delivery. I think certain pitchers are built to throw certain pitches because of the way they release the ball. For instance, Chad Durbin could throw that 58-foot bouncer in there. I mean, that ball bounced into the strike zone. Carlos probably should have taken a whack at that one.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Wally Bell patting the back of Ruiz, saying, "Thanks, buddy. Thanks for catching that."
Yeah. In the air, the center fielder Worth moves over. In the 7th, Durbin gets the Astros in order. We move to the 8th inning, 4-2 Houston. Bud Norris is in line for win number 4 of the season. It's up to the Astros bullpen now, maybe the hitters as well. It's 4-2. LaTroy Hawkins comes in for the 8th inning. Which last night had a rough 8th inning, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs, JD.
Yeah, he would have been the losing pitcher had the Astros not pulled the rabbit out of their hat in the bottom half of the 9th. But overall, it's been a good year for Hawk. He comes in to face Worth. Utley and Howard wait in the wings. A couple of dangerous left-handed bats. Better get this guy.
Ball 1 to Worth.
He's having a tough series, swinging through a lot of fastballs.
Hawkins has pitched scoreless baseball in 21 of his last 24 outings.
And Tim Burdick was up in the bullpen throwing last inning, so I'm guessing he's available, not throwing right now.
Line to left field. That's got some lift to it, and that is caught by a fan. It's ruled a home run. Couldn't tell if the fan reached over or not, but the third base umpire, Mike Winters, ruled home run. And it's a 1-run lead, 4-3, as Worth hits his 31st.
True to form, another home run for the Phillies. 3 runs, all solo home runs. Now it gets real dicey with Utley and Howard coming up. And boy, I'd want Burdick ready for Howard especially. Utley's been very good against both righties and lefties, but lefties have been able to nullify Howard. This looks like a little slider or something that backed up on him. And reaching over, but that might be worth video review. Looked like it was going to be a home run.
Now a 1-run lead after Worth went deep. And Chase Utley's 1 for 3. Fouls it back for strike one. Last night the Phillies got 2 in the 8th to go in front of the Astros 4-3. Hawkins was on the hook for that loss, but then when the Astros won it in the bottom of the 9th inning, Jose Valverde got a win. Chad Hope Park is warming up in the bullpen for Philly. Rockies got 4 in the first. They lead Arizona 4-1 after 3 in Colorado.
Valverde now starting to warm up in the Astros pen.
4 balls, 2 strikes. Valverde with a spotless 1-2-3 9th inning last night. Needed only 11 pitches. He had not pitched in a few days prior to that. Jorge De La Rosa is pitching for the Rockies against Yusmeiro Petit for Arizona. Curveball's fouled. It's still 0-2 to Utley. Seth Smith hit his 14th homer. Ian Stewart, number 22, in the Rockies' 4-run first. Chris Young hit number 8 for Arizona.
Rockies 1-game lead over the Giants in the wild card coming into play today. Giants Brewers tied 1-1. Late. Brewers have turned a triple play in that game. The guy in SNL.
No.
Yeah.
I have to watch it. It sounds interesting.
We're doing the guy from Dateline on one of those news shows.
Okay. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's the wild card situation in the National League. It'll be pretty tough for Atlanta, Chicago, or Houston to get there from where they are right now. Giants are batting in the top of the 8th, 1-1 at Milwaukee. Jonathan Sanchez went the first 6 for the Giants against Braden Looper. He went 7 for Milwaukee. Hawkins just missed inside. It's 2-2 to Utley.
Hawk has been good against lefties this year. They're just hitting 190 against them. It's a good riding fastball when it gets it out on the outer part of the plate. If they try to pull it, it's tough for most hitters to do anything with it. A lot of lazy fly balls.
Utley works the count full. One career at bat and hit a grand slam apparently off LaTroy. 4 runs batted in with 1 homer. Utley lines one to right. Hunter Pence back. Good running play. One out, that ball was smoked.
Utley with just 1 base hit today. Easily could have 3. Hit a bullet to first base his first time up, and now puts a good swing on this one. A nice play by Hunter. Got a good break. Able to track it down. Troy really hasn't had an answer last night or this afternoon for these Philly hitters.
Ryan Howard ripped an RBI triple off LaTroy last night, scoring Jimmy Rollins, who had singled. Howard 1 for 3 in this game. Boston leads the White Sox 3-0, bottom of the 7th inning, with John Lester shutting out the Sox. Foul ball for strike 1 on Howard. Mike Lowell hit his 17th home run for Boston. is series number 1 of 3 series on this homestand for the Astros, with Atlanta and Pittsburgh to follow. Howard takes ball 1.
Just a little bit off that inside edge, apparently. Thought it was good enough. And the Astros dugout thought it was good enough.
Hawk was tossed out of a game several weeks ago after a ball and strike call went against him. Howard fouls it. It's 1-2.
Yeah, we got Bell umpiring and Tolles catching. We need Royce Ring on the mound.
Troy was thrown out of a game late July at Chicago by Mike Everett. Anyone on the disabled list after that was shingles. Half foul. It's still a 1-ball 2-strike count on Howard.
A little slider, a couple slow curve balls. Now with 2 strikes, see if they take a shot up and in. A left-handed power hitter. Most of those guys have a little bit of a hole, inner third and up a little bit. But up out over the plate is a pitch that Howard handles pretty well. He's got good off-field power. Coming down with something. Breaking ball in the dirt, I'm guessing. Didn't get it there.
Matsui in right field. Throws out Howard. This time he got him back in the first inning. Howard ripped it past Matsui to his left.
This ball pretty well hit, but did not have the pace that one earlier did. He's out rover to first base on your scorecard.
A little bit different throwing angle than most second basemen are used to. 2 down, and it's Raul Ibanez. He's 1 for 3. There's ball 1. Chris Johnson was Offensive Player of the Month for Round Rock. Hit .333 with 7 homers, 20 runs batted in with a .620 slugging percentage. Ben Francisco on deck there. Andrew Locke, Offensive Player of the Month for Corpus Christi for the 4th time. Well, this season ended when he was hit by a pitch. Nonetheless, Andrew Locke will be fun to watch in spring training next year after he compiled a .338 average with 20 homers and 109 runs batted in.
I guess that makes him MVP of the team.
Yeah.
If you're Player of the Month 4 times in a 5-month season.
That pretty well does it.
Yeah, good chance.
2 balls, no strikes. Ibanez singled in the 6th. Bounces 1 foul here.
You know, Ibanez has been behind the fastball this entire series, really struggling. They started him with breaking balls to go 2-0 and just threw him a fastball there. And when a hitter's having a hard time getting to the fastball, they're going to cheat, and that's what happened with Ibanez. He tried to get it started early, sitting on the fastball, and the pitch was out of the zone. He couldn't do anything with it.
Charlie Manuel's concerned about his leg after that groin injury, and Ibanez continues to say he's healthy. The trainers say he's healthy, but Charlie's watching him. He rolls that one into right field. He's 2 for 4 in this game.
He showed a pretty quick bat there, getting on top of that high heater.
Now Ben Francisco.
We encourage you to visit the official online shop of the Astros at astros.com. There you'll find the largest online selection of authentic team gear, caps, t-shirts, jerseys, and the like. All available at Astros.com.
Francisco hit one of 3 solo homers for the Phillies today. His came in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. Lined out to Carlos Lee in the 6th.
Valverde is ready in the Astros pen. Should Coop want to go in that direction?
Pedro Feliz is on deck. Been a busy year for LaTroy Hawkins. He was the closer while Valverde was out with the injury to his calf.
Hey,
good.
My.
It's 1-1.
You know, we talk about position players playing behind a pitcher that works quickly and how they get into the flow and make better plays. I think it affects umpires too.
Yeah.
LaTroy, a very slow worker. And I think that works against him with the strike zone sometimes. Not that umpires are squeezing him because of that. I don't think they just get out of the flow a little bit. And maybe Wally is telling JR now, I missed that one. There's a little bit of a cordial conversation going on. Maybe saying, you know what, I missed that one. Tell Hawk, my apologies.
There are a lot of valuable off-the-record conversations that occur between umpires and catchers, which would be fun for fans to know about. But yeah, it's a big part of the game, that feedback that a catcher can give to a pitcher after an inning, what the umpire might have said about perhaps missing a call.
You know, and you don't want an umpire who's constantly telling you, I blew that one, I blew that one. After a while, you're going to lose it on it. But it's a good way for an umpire to kind of calm things down. You know, because what do you do as a player if you're complaining about a call and the umpire says, yeah, I blew it? I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. There's no recourse at that point. Argument over. Just go back to work. Or at least a willingness to admit, I might have missed that one. Yeah, it was close. I might have missed that one.
Strike 3. Hawkins gets Francisco looking. And in the 8th inning, the Jason Worth homer makes it a 1-run lead for Houston. 1 run, 2 hits, and a man stranded. 4-3 Astros in the middle of the 8th. Well, these two clubs played a 1-run game last night. The Astros took that one 5-4. Now the Astros lead by 1 as they come up in the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-3. Chad Durbin had a 1-2-3 7th inning. Now in the Astros 8th, Tejada, Pence, and Blum are due to bat against Durbin. Tejada 3 for 3, 2 doubles and an RBI in this one. He looks at ball 1. Phillies in the 9th inning have Feliz, Ruiz, and the pitcher spot due up.
Feliz, Ruiz, and Poliz.
It's 2-0 with Valverde getting set to pitch to that threesome. Not sure who Poliz is going to be, but See, they have Matt Stairs available to be police. 34,454 the paid attendance, and that is a ball upon appeal to Kerwin Danley. A check swing for Tejada.
3-0. I might turn him loose here and get a cookie and whack one into the Crawford boxes. Yeah, that's why I would have turned him loose. And he may have had the green line, just opted not to attack.
Whoa. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Miguel Tejada from Chad Durbin. Broken bat. Jimmy Rollins comes in. Bare hands. Low throw. Throws it past Howard at first. Tejada's safe. And he's 4 for 4.
A couple infield singles and a couple of hard doubles. Solid day for Miggy. Got jammed. This is just good fortune here. Rollins makes a heck of a play. You see it rattling around a little bit in his hand as he tries to corral it to make the throw.
Four hits for Miguel Tejada. That's number 9 for the Astros. And he now has 163 hits this season. There's Hunter Pence looking at that pitch for ball 1. Shane Victorino has 5 4-hit games. Miggy now has 4. He, Ryan Braun, and Felipe Lopez all tied for second. The Mets beat the Cubs 4-2 in New York. 2-0. Astros began the day 3.5 games behind the Mets, behind the Cubs, with the Cubs in second place. So they can cut that to 2.5 out of second place if they win this one. Daniel Murphy homered, tripled, and drove in all 4 for the Mets. Scott Air, the lefty, warming up. Rich Doobie's on the phone.
Cubs are now just 1 game above 500. So there's a chance the Cardinals could be the only team in the division that plays 500 baseball this year.
Three balls, 1 strike to Hunter. Might be his last chance to extend his hitting streak to 9 games. That's the way it would appear. Jeff Blum on deck.
Let's hope he doesn't get another at bat in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And he'll take a walk. Runners at first and second, nobody out for Jeff Blum now. Well, the walks really up for Durbin this year over last year's totals. The infielders come in with Blum 0 for 3. Coles on deck.
Well, situation here calls for a bunt, but personnel does not. Jeff has not been asked to bunt a whole lot in his career, so I guess you can't rule it out completely, but I'd be surprised to see him try to drop one down here.
And game-winning rookie Jay Happ goes tomorrow against Brian Moeller, a 105 start. Fox Sports Houston showing you Astros live at 12:30. Strike to Blummer. Tyler Walker's warming up for the Phillies. Francisco Rodriguez got his 30th save on his bobblehead day for the Mets. Been a rash of that. Guys performing well on their bobblehead days lately.
Well, Carlos had that big base hit on his Webkins day.
Yeah, that's true. Randy Wells lost for the Cubs, but it was a tough loss. He gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings. Only 2 to Blum. Pelfrey won it for the Mets. He's now 10-10. Astros will wind up the season at Citi Field in New York. They go to Philadelphia for 4 earlier on that final week of the year. Cincinnati and Atlanta are in the bottom of the 11th, tied 2-2. Drew Stubbs hit his 5th home run for Cincinnati. David Ross, number 7 for Atlanta. Stubbs made a good catch last night in that game too in center field. 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's make it 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lost 1 of each somehow.
It's still equal, still even in the count, Brian.
That's strike 3, and it's out number 1 for Durbin.
Tried to make that pitch a number of times. That 2-seamer that he starts in and runs back to the corner that time. Really well executed. Finish off Blummer. So Ruiz set up in there, and then that 2-seamer just drifts back to the inside corner.
J.R. Tolles, 2 strikeouts looking after a walk. So he'll want to be swinging the bat here if he gets to 2 strikes in the count, certainly, in this 4-3 game.
Yeah, if there's one word to describe J.R. as a hitter in the major leagues since that first call-up, it's tentative. He just doesn't look comfortable. But by all indications, that's not the case down at AAA.
J.R. from Crosby, Texas. 0 for 2 in this game. He had 137 last year for the Astros and 146 at bats. After that big September in 07. The 8 RBI game that year. 1 ball, 1 strike with Darren Erstad on deck. JR, a 20th round pick of the Astros in the 04 draft. Had some really solid years. High batting averages in A ball as he came up the minor league ladder in the Astros system. Up the middle, Rollins with the flip to Utley, barehanding and a relay, and there's the scoop out of the dirt by Ryan Howard on a very slick 6-4-3 double play. Moving to the 9th, it's 4-3 Astros. In downtown Houston, inside, it's 4-3. The Astros lead it. Youngsters have had a good time. Now they're watching the Astros come out for the top of the 9th inning with the closer, Jose Valverde, on the mound. He'll be pitcher number 5 for Houston. And a new catcher in the game as well, Humberto Quintero. It's a double switch with Quintero batting in the 9 spot and Valverde in the number 8 position. J.R. Tolles coming out of the game. And Valverde, with a 3-2 record, has 20 saves.
Another tight ball game this afternoon. Last night, the Astros scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th to overcome a 4-3 Philly lead. Now the Astros take that 4-3 lead to the 9th inning. Valverde charged with keeping it right there. 20 out of 24 in saves this year with a 2.05 ERA.
Gabriel Feliz, the first man to face him.
First man, so important.
Feliz is 0 for 3 with 2 punch outs. He looks at strike one at 95. Valverde picked up the save. Well, he got the win last night. Number 3 of the year.
Splitter.
0-2.
Talked about Feliz earlier. He's a very aggressive hitter. To get ahead of him, you don't have to throw him many strikes. So they got a couple different ways they can go. Way up with a fastball or throw another splitter off the plate. Win number 4 on the line for Bud Norris.
Val back. Still 0-2. The most recent save for Valverde was at Chicago last Monday. Valverde's not given up a run over his last 13 innings.
Back at you.
To right center field, Hunter Pence cuts over. 1 out. Troy Hawkins in 1 inning, allowed 2 hits and a run with no walks and a strikeout. And win number 4 for Norris, as that camera was just missed by the foul ball, is on the line here. Valverde has the first out. Now it's Ruiz with Matt Stairs coming out to the on deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next. Ruiz is 1 for 3. Valverde has converted each of his last 14 save situations. Ball 1 to Ruiz. And today will give the Astros the first 3 games in this 4-game series from the defending world champion Phillies. To right, Hunter Pence got a break, and he's there. Good jump. 2 outs. The rangy right fielder.
Inning to his right to get the first one, and this time straight across to the left on a line drive, but off the bat. Looked like it might have been extra bases. They're playing deep and towards the line a little bit, and a good jump.
Now Matt Stairs is a pinch hitter for Chad Durbin, who in 2 innings allowed 1 hit, no runs. He walked 1 and fanned 1. There's a .268 career pinch hitter, has 18 home runs off the bench. Ball 1 to Stairs.
Stairs with 88 at bats this year, 51 of them coming as a pinch hitter. 4 pinch hit home runs this season alone.
It's 1-1. Stairs a former second baseman in the Montreal system. He really has become an excellent hitter. Played winter ball in Mexico. Schooled himself in the off-speed stuff. 2 balls and a strike. Stairs 40 years old now. He's from St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. He's on the 1988 Canadian Olympic team. It's 3-1 to Matt Stairs.
Interesting pitch coming here. Stairs showing good patience, laying off a couple borderline pitches. Now how aggressive does Valverde want to be? A 3-1 count to a dangerous hitter.
Stairs is trying to snap an 0 for 28. Longest hitless streak of his career. Right.
That's the approach of a guy who's in a little bit of a funk. I mean, he's a guy who, that's his bread and butter. Triple fastballs, and he doesn't pull the trigger on a 3-1 heater.
Win number 66 for the Astros within sight. Valverde misses and walks him. Now Jimmy Rollins comes up. We get a pinch runner. Eric Bruntlett heads for first base to run for Stairs. Former Astro handyman checks in. Stairs drawing the pinch walk, now out of the game, and it's Rollins who led off this game with a homer and is 1 for 4.
Eric is certainly an upgrade over Matt Stairs in terms of base running ability, but he's not a base stealer. I'm really concerned, but Valverde slowed to home plate, so at some point they might try to steal his bag.
Valverde delivers ball 1.
You've had a couple of those, put your hands on top of your head and pray for divine intervention games here lately.
Thriller last night with the Astros pulling it out in the bottom of the ninth. Now they're trying to protect the lead in the top of the ninth.
She's less than through. No doubles in the outfield, very deep. All the way across left, center, and right.
Jason Worth on deck. Rollins pops it up. Portman calling between first and second. Valverde nails it down for Bud Norris, who goes to 4-3. Valverde getting save number 21. The Astros have taken the first 3 games of this series from the defending world champion Phillies. They get 3 in the 5th inning to take the lead and then hang on to it.